what I'm going to do is show you some different methods on how to do this. So go ahead and take notes on the back here, and it will probably, one of the methods will probably help out. And then the last few problems that you have, I'll have you try them a different method than what we have been doing and see if that works better or worse, but just to try it out. Okay. So let's start off first with a basic third grade problem. Something like 31 times 22. I'm just going to show you 3 different ways of multiplying just basic numbers. So just to recall, you'd multiply these two, get 2. Multiply these two, get 6. Right? Then you move over to the next one, multiply these two, get 2. And multiply these two, and get 6. Right? And the last step was to add them all up. So in a way, you can probably already tell, well, that's the same thing we just did. We had to multiply 4 times, and then the 2 in the middle, we had to add together. It was like a 6x and a 2x, but it's exact same steps. So what you're doing right now is very similar to what you've actually learned. You just kind of have to see it in a different light. How can we use like what we just did yesterday on this? Well, 30 is the same as 30 plus 1. That's what 31 is. And 20 is 20 plus 2. So we can go through and do the same exact steps. 30 times 20, 600. 30 times 2 and get 60. 1 times 20 and get 20. And then 1 times 2 and get 2. Now you notice that over here we added the 6 and the 2 together because those were both 60 and 20. They're both 10s, right? That's what these are right here. They're added together because they have the same number of zeros. With what you're doing now, it's like, well, these are both x's, or this would be an x squared. It has 2 zeros, so something different. But for what we're doing, you would just add those all together, right? It'd be 600, or this would be 80, right? That'd be 600, and this would be 2, and that's how we got the answer 682. So very similar to what we have been doing. Another method that's more common European and Asian countries, but they don't really learn the multiplication like this. They learn a slightly different way, and it looks like this. What they do is they set up kind of like a multiplication table, like so. Okay. So what you do here, it's very similar. You still have 4 multiplications, so keep in mind over here, we just multiplied 4 times. 1, 2, and then 3 and 4. So here, same thing. You just multiply and you have 4 squares instead of just 4 different numbers here. So 3 times 2 would be 6, and 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6 again, and then 2 times 1 is 2. And some people like this because you have to fill in a certain number of boxes, and it's harder to forget something when you know if you have an empty box, you're not finished. Whereas some of the other methods, it's like, well, I hope I got everything. I'm not sure whether I did or not. Okay. And just like before, where we had to add two things together, like we had to add the 6 and 2 to get 8, the 60 and 80, 60 and 20 to get 80. What happens here is they line up on a diagonal that we add up. So we still have 682. So 3 different ways of adding or to multiply. So I just want to show you for these, it also works with binomials. So if we did this with binomials, you'd get the same result. Okay, so try this out. Let's look at number, what was it, number 2, 3? Let's do number 3. 3x minus 1 and 2x plus 2. Okay. And 2x plus 2. Okay. So we can go through and do these the same exact way. We can do 2 times negative 1, get negative 2, right? Just like we did 2 times 1 here. 2 times 3, we got 6. But instead now it's 2 times 3x, so it's 6x. Right? And then we do 2 times 1 and get 2 right underneath the 6. Now it's 2x times negative 1, which is negative 2x. So very similar to just what you learned in the 3rd grade. So if you have some instincts about, like, well, here's how it could work, this might work because it works with numbers, it probably does. And then we add them up the same way. The 6 here we just brought down, same thing here, we're going to bring it down because it was 600s. That was the only hundreds place. But these were both 10, 6 plus 2, we got 80, so this is going to be 6x minus 2x, so that's 4x. And then we just brought down the 2 ones, so we brought down the negative 2 here. And we can do that all 3 ways. Right. So we can go through and multiply it this way and do all 4 multiplications, and it'll come out to the same thing. You'll get your 6x squared plus your 6x minus your 2x minus 2. And the 2 middle terms still come out to 4x, and we just bring down the 6x squared and the minus 2. Just like we did here, we brought down the minus 2 and the 6x squared because they don't combine with anything. Now, the last method, a lot of people like this for polynomials. It doesn't matter which one you put on top or the bottom. You'll get the same answer. But when you have a lot of terms, people tend to like this a little bit more. So 6x squared, just like we got from, here. It's not going to be anything different, just looks a little different. Negative 1 times 2x, negative 2x. 2 times 6x. So 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. And just like above, the diagonals are the like terms. Alright, so we end up with 6x squared plus 4x, and then minus 2. Right, so looks very nice. Different ways that work, and I just want you to try some of these different ways with your homework tonight that you have. So let's look at one of them that's a little bit bigger. And again, the order does not matter, so something like this we could set up as like so. Okay. And then put this on the side. Okay. And multiply each of those together, and you'll see the diagonals are the terms that line up. Now we could just do the way we have been doing it, and that'll work fine. As well. So try different methods, see if you like it better or not like it better. Just think about it as trying to learn how to drive 2 different types of cars. One's automatic, one's stick shift. They do the same thing, they get you the same place, but in a different way, and sometimes it's more handy to know one than over the other. So if we had 3 terms, like number 13, we would just adjust it and have 3 across and 3 down. So we could do 6b squared plus 7b plus 4, 8b squared minus 3b and minus 1, and then have to multiply 9 times. Okay. And when we get to these really big ones, the box method, this method seems to be the favorite because it's harder to forget one of those 9. Because if you get one of those 9 multiplications, and then it all is going to be incorrect because of that one thing. And you'll notice the diagonals will also line up here.